This video is going to be loaded because so much has gone wrong with this release. So, where to begin? So it was originally solicited and originally on Walmart's website before we even had a picture of what it looked like. We just knew we were getting a 6-inch ARC Trooper based off of the original Clone Wars series. We all assumed it was going to be the red one, Captain Fordo, and it was. But when the pictures were shown, we were all kind of taken aback. We would have expected something like, say, Captain Rex with a new helmet. That's what I was expecting. Just take the Black Series Captain Rex, give him a Phase 1 helmet, call it a day. But they took the ARC Trooper aspect kind of literally, and also very cheaply, and they just repainted ARC Trooper Echo, gave him a new helmet, and called it a day. There's many things incorrect with this, but that's not all. Don't worry, I'll get to all those details. But given how this was a Walmart exclusive, the fact that I pre-ordered it minute one, about a year ago, did not matter. Because this thing shipped out when it was in stock for some people a few months ago. However, my minute one pre-order has not been fulfilled. I wanted 2 of these because I love that package and I wanted to keep it in the package. So I wanted 2 of them. But unfortunately, I decided, it's very rare that I ever do this, I decided to bite the bullet and spend about $10 more than retail price. Mr. Sterling332 on Instagram messaged me and directed me to an Amazon listing for about $35 including shipping. This figure is about 36 and some change, or 26 and some change on Walmart, so it was a little less than $10 upcharge what I had to spend. And honestly, given it was probably from another outlet that bought it wholesale, they probably didn't even make much profit. So I did have to overpay because Walmart has yet to fulfill my order, and I was not taking a risk with this. Because even though it is not perfect, even though it has several issues, it's Captain Fordo. He's my second favorite clone trooper. I really wanted his 6-inch Black Series figure, and here it is. There's some things. So yeah, Walmart, again, has completely dropped the ball. Not to be surprised. Maybe they'll ship my pre-orders. Maybe they have just silently canceled it and they just haven't hit the cancel button. I don't know. But I hope I can get a second one at some point because I really want to keep it in this amazing package. I love the classic Clone Wars packaging. I remember buying this figure as a child. I had the original one growing up. So seeing this box again is very nostalgic. I need the original carded too. It is so nice to see this Star Wars, Clone Wars, ARC Trooper. That classic art on the side. Ah, man, the clone helmet up top, the shaping to it, the explosion in the back. Unfortunately, the back is a little 50th Lucasfilm heavy. But look at this, it shows artwork from the show. I'm pretty sure the original box might have done that. But you can see a picture of Fordo up there, how he should look. And you can read the little bio if you want, as well as in other languages if you don't speak English as your primary language. One of those might be a little easier for you. Man, I wish I knew more languages. So, awesome box. I would love to have one in the package someday, but I don't know if that'll happen. I wasn't going to spend $35 for 2 of them. I settled for just 1. And yeah, it's not perfect. So, what went right? The arms. No, actually, not even those. So what went right? What is correct on him? Let's go through this. The antenna's correct. Looks fine, moves, that's good. The face. Now, what they did, they decided to paint the entire front of the face red, which is more along the lines of what happened in the original series. It was all the face all red. They did the same thing with the way more accurate Vintage Collection one. But the Vintage Collection one stopped the paint at the face. And I think that looked a lot better. But this one continues the paint down into the cheeks. So it has a lot more red than the Vintage Collection, and you can really tell, like, it's so much more. His face is so much more red. And it's fine. It's not accurate. It should be like that. But it's fine. I think the sculpt is nice. He does actually have a flesh head underneath. But per usual, they glued the helmet on. Hooray, thank you, Hasbro. So, helmet, decent. They did a decent job. The arms. So, I think the forearms, using the new ARC Trooper body, turned out great. I love seeing a Captain Fordo figure with all of the cool arm detailing, and it's actually fairly accurate to what is even in the show too. It's very nicely done. I think it's pretty good for what it is. It's not 100%, but I think it's pretty good. The striping on the arms is pretty thin. You can see it's very nice and thick on the forearms, and it should be just as thick, but it's very thin up top. Again, the Vintage Collection one did that a lot more better and more accurately. Actually, scale aside, I think the Vintage Collection one's stripes are thicker, so that's nice. So arms aren't perfect, helmet's not perfect, the body is entirely incorrect. So it's the realistic, like, it's the Clone Wars 2008 style Phase 1.5 ARC Trooper. It's the ARC Trooper that we see in the Battlefront 2 game. It's the newer version of the ARC Trooper. I can understand them wanting to integrate Captain Fordo as a more modern ARC Trooper for the sake of the release. I think it kind of makes some sense. But this is a repaint of Echo, and Echo has the handprint on his right breastplate. And every other ARC Trooper in all of existence has the ammo pouch on their right breastplate. Echo was the only exception. So tell me, why is the ammo pouch not on his right breastplate? Why is it on his left? Because laziness. That's why. They didn't move that where it should be, and it's glued on so tight, there's no way you can just pop it off and put it right there. So that's disappointing. The skirt, I mean, it's just not the right skirt. It's just, you know, it's the modern ARC Trooper skirt. The thighs are fine. They're normal clone thighs. And the shins, they have the added ARC Trooper detailing to it. So it's this weird hybrid of animated, realistic, new ARC Trooper, Echo. It's all over the place. He also has the backpack, and Fordo never had the backpack. It's just, it's so weird. Like, he doesn't have the full paint on the helmet like he's animated, but he has other things like he's realistic. It's all over the place. It is. One thing that I can kind of justify it as, this isn't an interpretation of animated Fordo. This can kind of be seen more so as an interpretation of the original realistic figure that did have some added armor on the torso, that did have some different armor on the shins, and it just was a little more detailed and had big pouches on the side. It can kind of be seen as a modern interpretation of this. And this figure did also come in red. I just am showing the blue one because it was easier to grab. So yeah, I mean, even then though, the realistic interpretation has a thinner stripe on the helmet instead of the full face being painted red. So this figure is essentially all over the place and has no idea what it wants to be. My main real issue with the production of it though is that pouch. How could they not notice that that pouch is in the wrong spot? They got it right with the Umber Operative, but not with Fordo. Oh well. So what does he come with? Standard loadout. He's got the rifle. He's got the carbine. It didn't even really need to come with these because, you know, he is the DC-17s. And for a realistic Fordo, I don't mind him having the standard DC-17s instead of whatever the heck those were supposed to be. They're like weird DC-17, 15 carbine hybrids. Those guns have never really had an identity. They're just Fordo's guns. But I think, you know, having him with that, you know, it's basically, if they wanted to make him this kind of ARC Trooper, they should have fully embraced it and fully gone, like, realistic, or they should have... It's such a weird hybrid of animated and realistic. That ammo pouch is what really bugs me, though. It's funny, I just filmed a Galvatron video where I was like, people complain about the details of toys too much. But man, when it comes to clones, it's just, I know I'm a hypocrite. I know I'm a hypocrite. But this is Fordo we're talking about. The biggest saving grace for this figure, though, is the fact that it reuses the Echo body. And that means he is fun as hell. He is very poseable. Ball joint at the head, little hinge there. He does use the softer plastic for the shoulder pads and for the knee pads and everything. So it is easier to move his arms up. You can move him forward. Elbow joint, bicep swivel. Very nice ball joint at the waist there. Ball hinges at the hips, swivel at the thigh, hinge at the knee. Like, he's fully poseable Black Series. Like, he's fully poseable. He's very fun to mess with. He's amazing. Of course, per usual, I did have to cut the trigger finger because Hasbro doesn't know that, you know, trigger fingers on both hands are important. So, had to do that again. But, I mean, it's a fun figure. I love messing with it. Even though it, again, has no idea what it wants to be. It's all over the place. So, with that, do I recommend him? I mean, it's Captain Fordo. I don't know if we'll get another Black Series Fordo. I'm just happy we got a Black Series Fordo. Now, granted, some of my favorite clones, here, I actually have them right here so I can show. It is kind of a shame that some of my favorite clones have to be relegated to weird repaints of other figures that don't entirely fit the mold. I feel like Boss pulled it off a lot better than Fordo has. But still, looking at this, we have 6-inch Boss and Fordo. I mean, we're in year 9 of the Black Series, but still, we have 6-inch Boss and Fordo. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, is it a bad figure? It's not a bad figure. It just has no idea what the heck it wants to be. It is all over the place. It is just... It's a figure with an identity crisis. And I wish it would just pick one. Do you want to be a Battlefront 2 style ARC Trooper? Do you want to be an animated Captain Fordo? Do you want to be a realistic Captain Fordo? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? Please just pick one and just go with it. But see, the thing is, since it is packed on this, you know, original Clone Wars packaging, I expected it to basically be Captain Rex with a Phase 1 helmet. Basically something that looks like this. That's what I expected, and that is 100% not what we got. So there we go. There is my very conflicted, mixed review of Captain Fordo from the Black Series Clone Wars 50th Lucasfilm line. Pain to get, not even perfect. It's far from perfect. But at the end of the day, it still has a positive review for me because it's still a fun figure. At the end of the day, it still captures the essence of Captain Fordo. The main issue for me is that pouch placement. My brain doesn't process it. It's like, why is it over there? It needs to be over there. I have seen it on the other breastplate for 20 years of my life, and you have it in the wrong spot. It's whatever. Not that big of a deal. It's a toy at the end of the day. Like I said in my Galvatron review, we're talking about toys, man. At the end of the day, I'm not going to lose sleep over this Fordo not being perfect. I still bought it. I overpaid for it. It's a toy. I enjoy it. I'm not... the reason why I'm critical and I point all these things out is because it's a review. And I have to. If I did a review of this and didn't point out all of the weirdness and all of the inaccuracies, it wouldn't be a review. It would just be, oh, look at my toy. It's Captain Fordo. Isn't he cool? Bye. You know, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do, and I don't call it a review, but this is a review. So, I'll leave it at that. I usually ramble at the end. I ramble way too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons of Patreon, as well as Mr. Sterling332 for recommending me to go on Amazon and just buy it. Thank you for sending me that link. You are the reason I have it right now. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.